Good morning. Today I want to talk to you about a tool that will come in handy when you're trying to do some troubleshooting on macOS. And let me give you a scenario. Let's assume that you were trying to perform an installation. For instance, you're trying to install an agent and it fails, but you don't know why. You don't get an error message, you don't get a pop-up window, it just fails silently. Well, this is a tool that could probably help you figure out what's going on. And it's called the console tool. Now, the nice thing about this tool is that it's already available to you on macOS. No need to download anything, no need to install anything, no other third-party application to get onto your system. It's readily available to you. And there's a couple of ways you can get to it. The traditional way, of course, is just by opening up Launchpad. And if you go to the other folder, you'll see it in here. It's here on mine. It'd be someplace else on yours probably. But if you like to use the keyboard like I do, you can just do Command Space. And if you just type in con, it completed it for you. And then you just hit Enter and it brings it up. Now, there's lots of features available to you here, but let's stick with the scenario I gave to you earlier. Let's assume that you had an application or an installation crash and you want to know why. Well, it's very convenient for you here because on the left-hand side, you see all these reports. Well, the very top one is, of course, crash reports. And if I click on this, you can see that I've had several crashes from different applications on this machine as recently as a few days ago. But if I just click on it, if they hadn't been clicked, I would just click on it. Let me click back on it. It gives you a lot of information about what happened. So if you look here, by the way, if I just double click this, it'll open it up in a separate window, but I don't want to do that. Let's just leave it alone. But it gives you tons and tons of information about what went wrong. So for example, it gives you the process name, it gives you the path to the executable that was run, it gives you the identifier, in other words, who wrote this thing, what version is it, you can see the version of macOS that you were running it on, etc., etc. This helps you in case you run into some incompatibility with the executable, the application, and your current version of macOS. Another thing that is very, very useful to you as the user, if you have to report this, is if you scroll down a little bit further, you'll see it gives you an exception type and an exception code. And these are the types of things that you will have to share with someone if you're, say, reporting a bug, if you want to report the bug back to the original developer, or if you are trying to get information, say, maybe on Stack Overflow or whatever it may be. These are the types of things that someone will ask of you. Well, do you have a code, etc., etc. And there's a lot more information in here, probably more than you need to know. But the nice thing about this is that because these are text files, that if you want to share this, or if you need to, all you need to do is just highlight it, copy it, and paste it, and you can send it up to someone that way. Another very convenient way to share it is if you look up here at the top, it has a share button. But if you click on that, it will assume that you're either trying to send it to someone via AirDrop or one of your contacts via text message. Now, let's say that you want to share the entire file with the developer. Well, the way you do that is you, instead of left-clicking on the file up here, you right-click on it and select Reveal in Folder, and it will take you directly to where that file actually lives. And you'll notice the naming convention here, process name followed by year, month, date, followed by timestamp, and then all of that with an IPS extension. All of the crash files will have an IPS extension. You'll see in this folder, ignore them for now, but there's lots and lots of files here with a .diag on them. Those files are what you would see if I were to click on diagnostic reports back in the console tool. And just to give you a quick rundown of what each one of these means, crash reports are, of course, when you have an application fail. if you have a process that gives you a spinning color wheel, so it's getting hung, maybe you're running low on resources, what have you. If that were the case, I would have an entry here under spin reports. And log reports are just basic logging. So any activity, any events that are taking place during the operation of this process. So in order of importance, crash reports, spin reports, log reports. And of course, way down here at the bottom, by the way, under log reports, you see there's a system log. That is the default log file for all activity happening on your system. This system log is the same as this system log. So the next time you're trying to figure out what happened or why an application crashed, the console tool is probably a good place to start. I hope that helps.